What if this winter isn't just cold, but chaotic? A single snowstorm could knock out power for days, empty grocery shelves, and leave people trading food for fuel. The National Weather Service warns that 2025 could bring one of the most unpredictable winters in decades. When that happens, even the smallest, cheapest items can become priceless. Hey folks, welcome back to Frugal Prepping, where we don't panic, we prepare smart. With fuel costs rising, supply chains unstable, and FEMA urging every household to keep at least 3 days of supplies, it's time to think ahead. Today, I'm sharing 12 life-saving essentials under $5. Simple items that can keep you warm, fed, and ready when things get rough. Stick around till the end, because the last few might surprise you. And don't forget to subscribe and support the channel so we can keep bringing you smart, affordable prepping tips. Let's jump in. 1. Lighters and matches. Let's open with a scenario. You wake up to a frozen house, no heat, no power. Outside, the world is collapsing into darkness. The only thing between your family and hypothermia is a spark. Fire means heat, light, even cooked food, and that's exactly why you can never have too many lighters or matches. Look back at 2021 Texas power crisis. Over 4 million homes and businesses lost power, some for several days. The demand for emergency supplies, especially fire-starting tools, skyrocketed. Hardware stores sold out of basics, trades usually ignore, like hand warmers and lighting tools, and many people were left sitting in darkness because they couldn't get the spark they needed. And here's the statistic that gets overlooked. According to the U.S. Fire Administration, in 2021 alone, there were approximately 24,200 residential building electrical fire incidents in the U.S., resulting in nearly 300 deaths and over $1.2 billion in losses. Equipment failures are the culprit, so tools that bypass the grid, like disposable lighters or storm-proof matches, suddenly become survival tools. Disposable lighters, they cost $1 or $2 now. But in a blackout when temperatures plummet and help isn't coming, they're essentially currency. Start buying in bulk, even cheap multi-packs at your local dollar store. Toss a few into stock, your car, your emergency bag. They're compact, reliable, and work without batteries or power. When everything else fails, heat, grid, supply chains, a simple flame gives you more than comfort. It gives you safety, control, and a trade tool others will crave. Don't wait until the panic starts. Stock up now while they're easy to find. One spark could mean the difference between shivering in darkness and staying warm, fed, and safe. 3. Hand warmers. Picture this. The power's out, the wind's howling, and your car is buried in snow. Your hands are freezing inside your gloves while your windshield traps the cold in. That's when you'll wish you had. Something simple and cheap, like a hand warmer. These little pouches, costing less than a coffee, last up to 10 hours and keep you ready when everything else fails. Winter storms are becoming more severe and unpredictable. According to the National Weather Service, some storms can drop temperatures by more than 50 degrees in a matter of hours. During those moments, staying warm isn't just uncomfortable, it's survival. The Winter Survival Checklist from reputable prepping resources lists hand warmers among the top essentials for severe cold kits and vehicle backups. Why aren't they more talked about? Because most people think prepping means generators or food shelves. But when the heat drops and your heater is offline, your body begins to lose core temperature. Small heat sources like hand warmers can help you stay alert and avoid hypothermia. Here's your action step. Grab multi-packs of disposable or reusable hand warmers now. Throw a few in your winter coat pocket, one in the car glove box, and stash extras in your emergency kit. Because when roads freeze and help is days away, a 10-hour burst of heat might be what separates waiting in the dark from being safe, warm, and in control. 7. Candles and flashlights. When the power goes out, it's not just inconvenient, it's disorienting. The darkness feels heavier than you expect. You can't see your own hand in front of your face. The hum of appliances stops. The world goes silent. That's when one candle, one flashlight, suddenly becomes priceless. After Hurricane Ida in 2021, over 1 million Louisiana residents were left without power, some for weeks. FEMA later reported that during that period, flashlights, batteries, and candles sold out in most major retailers within 24 hours of the storm hitting. People were desperate for light, not just to move around safely, but to feel a sense of control again. It's amazing how something so simple can mean the difference between fear and calm. The Department of Energy has also warned that the U.S. power grid is facing its highest risk of blackouts in over a decade due to aging infrastructure, severe weather, and growing energy demand. We've seen rolling blackouts across California and the Midwest, and winter storms continue to knock out entire regions. If that happens during a deep freeze, light isn't a luxury, it's a form of survival. That's why you should have multiple light sources: LED flashlights for mobility, headlamps for hands-free work, and long-burning candles for warmth and morale. A single emergency candle can burn for up to 100 hours. And here's a trick preppers swear by. Keep solar-powered garden lights outside during the day, then bring them in at night for free light that never runs out. And don't underestimate the barter value. In a prolonged outage, people will trade food, batteries, even cash for reliable light. A simple flashlight could mean someone's safety, or their sanity. So stock up now while they're cheap, because when the grid goes dark, light becomes the new gold, and those who planned ahead will never be left in the dark. Bait 8. Ramen and instant meals. When disaster strikes and the power's out, you quickly realize how much we depend on convenience. Without a working stove, microwave, or refrigerator, your food options shrink fast. That's why ramen, instant mac and cheese, and oatmeal packets aren't just college food. They're survival food. After the 2021 Texas freeze, grocery stores ran out of shelf-stable, quick-cook meals within hours. Families were melting snow just to boil a pot of noodles. FEMA and the USDA later reported that over 4.5 million Texans faced food insecurity during that crisis, much of it because they had no way to prepare regular meals without power. And here's the reality. In a winter grid failure, boiling water might be all you can do. Instant meals are one of the smartest preps you can make because they check every box: cheap, lightweight, long shelf life, and fast to make. A single pack of ramen costs less than $1, but provides hot calories when you need them most. You can stretch them even further by adding canned veggies, powdered eggs, or a scoop of peanut butter for protein. In an extended emergency, comfort food also matters more than people realize. Psychologists at the American Red Cross note that warm, familiar meals help reduce stress and anxiety during crises. That's why a hot bowl of soup or noodles can feel like gold when everything else falls apart. Experts at the Bureau of Labor Statistics have already warned that food prices rose more than 25% between 2020 and 2024, and they're not slowing down. So, buying a few bulk cases of ramen, oatmeal, or cup meals now isn't just practical. It's a hedge against inflation. When the lights go out and shelves are empty, these simple instant meals become a lifeline. Cheap today, priceless tomorrow, and one of the easiest ways to make sure your family stays warm, fed, and calm in the middle of chaos. 9. Trash bags and plastic sheeting. Here's something most people never think about. What happens to your trash when the garbage trucks stop running? During the 2021 Texas freeze, and again after major hurricanes like Ian and Ida, waste collection in some areas was suspended for weeks, leading to piles of garbage that quickly turned into breeding grounds for bacteria and rodents. The CDC warns that improper waste disposal can spread diseases like Salmonella, E. coli, and hepatitis A, especially when sanitation systems fail. That's why heavy-duty trash bags and plastic sheeting are worth their weight in gold during an emergency. They're not just for garbage. They're multi-purpose survival tools. You can use them to line a makeshift toilet, collect rainwater, seal off broken windows, or even create a temporary shelter. In wet or freezing conditions, one large plastic bag can literally save your life by trapping body heat or keeping you dry when hypothermia is a real threat. FEMA's Emergency Preparedness Guide actually lists plastic sheeting and garbage bags as essential items for home disaster kits, right alongside food, water, and first aid supplies. Why? Because sanitation breaks down faster than almost anything else when services stop. And when it does, infections spread like wildfire. Trash bags are also incredible barter items. Imagine trading a roll of contractor-grade bags to a neighbor whose home is flooding or whose toilet stopped working. That's real value in a crisis. A single box can provide warmth, water protection, and hygiene all in one. Most people overlook this simple prep because it's not glamorous. But when the power's been out for 10 days and your neighborhood smells like rot, you'll be grateful you stocked up. Plastic sheeting and heavy-duty bags are cheap today, but in a long-term emergency, they'll be worth more than gold. Sanitation isn't optional, it's survival. Number 10, coffee and tea. Picture this. It's day 4 of a blackout. You've rationed your food, batteries are running low, and everyone's nerves are shot. Then, someone brews a hot cup of coffee. That smell alone feels like hope. In times of crisis, little comforts like caffeine can make a massive difference in morale, and even become powerful barter items. During Venezuela's collapse, coffee was one of the most traded commodities. People literally exchanged coffee beans for rice, sugar, and even batteries. It wasn't just about caffeine. It was about comfort, normalcy, and that tiny taste of routine in a world that felt completely out of control. And if history teaches us anything, it's that people will always crave comfort when times get dark. Here in the US, over 63% of adults drink coffee daily, according to the National Coffee Association's 2024 report. That means in a prolonged emergency, caffeine withdrawal could become a serious issue for millions. The headaches, fatigue, and irritability aren't just inconvenient. They can lower morale and cloud decision-making when clear thinking is vital. Tea is just as valuable. It's lightweight, easy to store, and offers both caffeine and herbal options for calming nerves or soothing illness. A few tea bags can lift spirits when supplies run low, especially for kids or those who don't drink coffee. And here's where it gets practical. Coffee and tea take up almost no space, never really expire when stored right, and can be used for barter long after perishable goods run out. A single small can of instant coffee could buy you batteries, fuel, or canned food when supply chains freeze. So even if you're not a coffee drinker, stock up anyway. A few extra cans or boxes of tea could be your ticket to trade, or your one moment of peace in the chaos. In a survival economy, caffeine isn't just a drink. It's comfort, it's clarity, and it might just be your most valuable barter item when the world goes quiet. Number 11, first aid supplies. Here's something most people don't think about until it's too late. When disaster hits, hospitals fill up almost instantly. According to the American Red Cross, medical facilities can be overwhelmed within 72 hours of a major emergency. Just look at what happened during the 2021 Texas freeze and recent wildfires across California. Emergency rooms overflowed, pharmacies ran out of painkillers and antibiotics, and even basic first aid items were impossible to find. That's why having your own first aid kit isn't a luxury. It's survival. FEMA recommends every household keep a minimum 3-day supply of essential medical items. Things like adhesive bandages, antiseptic wipes, pain relievers, gauze, tweezers, and disposable gloves. But here's the truth. 3 days isn't enough if supply trucks stop rolling or stores are looted. Imagine this. Someone in your family gets a deep cut while cleaning up storm debris, there's no power, no ambulance coming, and the nearest urgent care closed days ago. What do? In that moment, a $10 kit with alcohol wipes and antibiotic ointment becomes priceless. It's not just about saving money, it's about saving lives. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warns that poor sanitation and untreated wounds are among the top causes of preventable infections after disasters. A small cut can turn dangerous fast when medical systems break down. Even over-the-counter meds like ibuprofen and acetaminophen become hot trade items when stores run out. And it's not just about wounds. Think allergy meds, antacids, burn cream, and even medical gloves. In a crisis, these become tools of survival and valuable barter goods. So, stock up now. Build your kit, label everything clearly, and store backups in your car or bug-out bag. Because when chaos hits, every second counts, and being prepared means you're not waiting in line with the unprepared masses. When others panic, you'll act. That's what real preparedness looks like. Number 12, seeds. If the shelves ever go bare, and we've seen how fast that can happen, the ability to grow your own food becomes real freedom. Think about it. One small packet of seeds can produce pounds of food over and over again. That's security you can't buy once the system breaks down. According to the National Gardening Association, home gardening in the U.S. has increased by more than 30% since 2020, with millions of Americans planting food for the first time after seeing just how fragile supply chains can be. And it's not just a trend, it's a quiet movement toward independence. People are realizing that when trucks stop delivering and grocery prices spike, seeds are the new gold. During the early months of the pandemic, seed companies like Burpee and Johnny's Selected Seeds reported record-breaking demand, with many varieties selling out for months. The same thing happened again during the inflation surge of 2023. It's proof that when uncertainty rises, people instinctively turn back to the soil. But not all seeds are equal. If you're thinking long-term, go for non-GMO, heirloom varieties, the kind you can regrow year after year. Store them in airtight containers or vacuum-sealed bags and keep them in a cool, dark place. Properly stored, seeds can last for years, ready to restart your garden whenever you need. Now picture this. The power's been out for weeks, grocery stores are closed, and your canned food is running low. But outside your window, there's a small garden, green beans climbing, tomatoes ripening, herbs thriving. You're not just surviving, you're living. You have food to eat, food to trade, and food to share. That's the power of seeds, tiny, affordable, and life-giving. They turn fear into resilience, panic into purpose. So don't wait until the next crisis hits. Stock them now while they're cheap, learn how to use them, and you'll have something no collapse can take away. The skill and freedom to feed yourself. If this video helped you prep smarter, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new survival tip. Every click helps the channel grow and keeps more families prepared before it's too late. Stay safe, stay frugal, and keep prepping.